On the line right now from Fox News Channel, he's the host of Special Report. Bret Baier is with us. Hello, Bret.
Hey, good morning, guys.
All right, listen, we've been watching cable news coverage, especially another cable news company, not yours, and we've been hearing...
You shouldn't do that.
Merely for research purposes.
No, only for
Bret.
research purposes.
Research
And we keep hearing this a lot when it comes to this mysterious story about the missing jet aircraft. We hear things like...
I don't want to speculate because I just think there's too much riding on this.
And like this.
Look, it's hard at this point to speculate. Of course, everybody is speculating.
There's a lot of speculating going on.
Lastly, sir, I know we want to avoid speculation, but you did work for the NTS.
Hold on, this is the best one.
We are in the speculation business. I know as much about what happened as you do, as Bill Nye does, as any of the viewers. But we have to speculate because only through asking questions can we possibly get to some kind of helpful answer.
What?
I don't want to put you in a position of having to criticize your competitors.
Now, listen, I have used the S word, I think, in this story.
Yeah,
the dreaded S word, because you get to the point where, people are just enthralled with this story. And you have all of these experts, and you don't have many facts, and the facts that you do have suddenly disintegrate.
And let me ask you about that. That's what I really wanted to burrow in on. You're a news organization, and I know a little bit about how your news organization runs because I used to work there, and I know that you do your very, very best to get information. But you get one bit of information, and it seems very solid. It comes from a usually reliable source,
Yep.
and then 5 minutes later we're told, no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
And this is true. No, it's not true.
It's maddening.
It's absolutely maddening. How do you, as a news organization, what are you doing right now to separate the fact from the fiction?
Well, I mean, we're burrowing in on people who we believe have the real line into where this investigation is, and it takes us a little while to get that. I think the Wall Street Journal has done some really good reporting, and they've got a correspondent who seems to be in the inside lane of some of the U.S. Top officials on where this investigation is headed, and Catherine Herridge has done a good job ferreting out different stuff. But understand, I mean, these are press conferences that are happening, and this is stuff that's going out on the airwaves from Malaysian authorities, and it's tough to stuff comes out at 5 p.m. or something before my 6 o'clock show, and you have to digest it and decide, maybe that's not true. So I think it is a very difficult story. The other challenge is it's a half a world away, and you can't just go around the block and throw a lot of resources at it. But it's fascinating, and I think people are enthralled by it.
They are absolutely enthralled by it.
We asked people their opinions a moment ago, and instantly every line we have lit up.
But let me ask you, you brought up the fact that so much of this is the information is either coming from or being contradicted by or being clouded by Malaysian authorities. I think that is a big story here, and I think because of diplomatic pressures and everyone's, trying to tread lightly here, that it hasn't been discussed as much. As a news organization, how challenging has it been here in terms of dealing with the Malaysian government on this?
Yeah, it's very, very tough. We... trying to get answers in those chains has not been easy. It's either been standoffish, not getting answers, or getting the wrong answers. And then when you have the Chinese putting out these images that seemed so promising.
These were the satellite images that got released that showed debris floating in the ocean. It's like, that's what we're looking for, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then you had, every NTSB and former NTSB official saying, "Oh, this is, probably it. It matches everything. It looks like it's, on track." And then it turns out not to be it.
Nope, never mind.
Then the Malaysian theory of it going west into the Indian Ocean, well, that may be true. And so I do think that we're probably getting closer, And
well, do you agree with me that right now it seems to be that most of the what seems to be responsible reporting on this suggests that this plane flew for several hours, maybe as many as 5 hours, after the transponder went dark, after it quit squawking. For whatever reason, it quit squawking about 5 hours after. It still continued to fly, and it seems to be that where most people are coming into, it went into the Indian Ocean. It's in the Indian Ocean area. At least that's where it was headed.
Yeah, that's 4 or 5 hours, and I think that is getting to the consensus that this plane flew for a long time after the transponders were turned off, and not turned off one at a time.
Yeah.
Not turned off all at once, like in a tragic, all at once kind of
event,
like a catastrophic event, right?
Turned off.
Yeah.
There are 3 of them, so that indicates, something different.
Something that we would have to speculate about.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't want to say the S word.
No, we don't want to say.
Don't say the dreaded S word.
Bret Baier, let me shift hemispheres on you. Yesterday, John Kerry spoke before the U.S. Senate and said, or at least the Foreign Relations Committee, and said, that's it. The setting a deadline for Russia. They need to change course on Crimea and the Ukraine. Are we looking at a showdown here?
Yeah, it is a showdown, but whether Vladimir Putin thinks it's a showdown is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And judging by the amount of equipment and soldiers that he has put into Crimea, he's ready for whatever. And this referendum is coming. And, I get the sense that despite the talk from Secretary Kerry and even from the President in the Oval Office, that the administration is kind of waiting for this referendum to have some sort of umbrella to say, well, they did vote.
Really?
I do sense that because there is this collective exhale up on Capitol Hill because you wonder how much pressure and leverage there is going to be able to be on Putin to get out of Crimea. I think that for all the people like former Defense Secretary Bob Gates who say Crimea is gone, that probably is more accurate than the people who say that he's going to get out of there.
All right. Well, Bret Baier, we'll leave it right there. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you guys.
All right.